the distance, you can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold, breaking all the records you thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name, cause there's gonna be a day when you're
standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna...
The Script, Hall of Fame. It's right here on Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's doing fantastic. Oh, yes, indeedy. How much success are you ready for? A lot of us, I think, when we imagine the success of whatever it is we're trying to imagine, right? Or what we're trying to manifest, I should say. Right? Just maybe it's a girlfriend, maybe it's a successful YouTube channel, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a car, an airplane, a boat, whatever. And a lot of us see ourselves in it, and that's wonderful, and that's good, and that's a big part of it. But the next dimension to it, living in the end kind of concept, a lot of us, I don't think, take into account, is what it means to truly be successful at manifesting. What is our lives going to be like? How do they change from where they are currently right now to where they're going to be when we have what we're after? Let me give a couple examples to hopefully try to make sense of this. I don't know, it's a fun little show topic that I thought of. I'm like, that's kind of fun to know because this is something that I think about a lot, and hopefully others get something out of it. And one great example of where I think about it is with YouTube. YouTube's been a progression, it's been a growth. I don't want to say where I'm at right now because videos tend to be timeless. One of the things you learn along the way as being a creator, right? Videos are timeless. You don't necessarily need to date stamp them. It shows when they were uploaded, but that outside of that, they are live when you watch them, right? And it's right now, and so you don't really want to tie yourself down. And you certainly, comments and all these things, emails, all these things are progressive. So as you get larger and larger, more and more people, more and more views, all of these things start to increase. And if you're not ready for that, it can be a trip. It can be, wow, right? It can be surprising. And I'm still growing awesomely and loving it and enjoying the wave, but there, that aspect of it. So when you're imagining going big, kind of why I'm called Dan Radio Style. When you imagine going big, you've got to imagine, what's my life going to be like? How is this going to be? How am I going to manage my day-to-day affairs? When I have 100,000 subscribers, am I going to be able to reply to every single person's comment? No. I'm having a hard enough time right now. So again, it's one of those things where you've got to understand the growth for all of us, for any of you that are trying to do YouTube channels. And it's a lot of fun, believe me. It is way worth it. There's a few people that have kind of, I think, been inspired, which I think is wonderful, and I love it. So keep going. And there's one person in particular that has asked that we do a video together, and we will. I'm just way behind on my emails right now. That's part of this. Hey, relationships. Right now, maybe you're not together. There's a good example, right? We're not together right now. So right now during the day, this is kind of something that I can relate to in a big way in my life is, I've got YouTube. I'm spending time doing that. Got my regular Monday through Friday gig doing that, and that requires some additional stuff from time to time, and trying to hold down a number of other areas in my life currently. And there's only so many hours in a day, so you start to find yourself kind of being scattered, maybe being pulled in a number of directions, maybe sometimes having hard delivering on things that you would normally deliver on. So imagine when that relationship is truly going in line, imagine streamlining your life, the things that have to happen, the things that fill up time, because when you're imagining the reality of it in the relationship, your time's different now, because now you're spending time with them instead of, you're warming up top ramen in the kitchen while you're working away on your laptop because you had to get this project done. Now all of a sudden you've got someone that wants to date or wants to spend time. As much as I want the relationship, where am I going to find the time? We have to take these things into account. We have to start making these transitions now to make time for the thing that's coming. A lot of us talk about cleaning out a section of our closet, which is a great thing. That whole telling the universe this is what's going on. This is almost more important because you're making room for it, truly. Right now, a lot of us don't have room. Maybe we're thinking about our career. What's the next step? What's the next bump? What's the next area that you're going to? And all the things that entails. Maybe you've got a wife and kids right now. Maybe you've got kids, family. Maybe you've got a second job that you really enjoy doing and that you just might not be able to do anymore. Maybe you've got people that you used to hang out with because of the group that you were involved with, the team you were on. And when this promotion happens, you're going to be in a different thing, different hours, different time zone, whatever. Maybe you have to move. Sometimes these things can change our lives in ways that maybe we didn't think about beforehand. And if we don't, by the way, and I've mentioned this kind of in other videos, not this directly, but if we don't realize this could potentially happen and we're not somewhat mentally prepared for it, when it happens, it can look like a tragedy. When all of a sudden they hit you up with, you have to move, it's like, oh, I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. Oh my God. Oh, geez, I'm going to be saying goodbye to people I haven't seen. I don't have enough time. I've got to be going in 2 weeks. Oh. Sometimes when you stop and think, you're like, well, I want this new career and this really is what I'm going for. And there's a significant bump in pay and I finally got that extra, finally got my master's or whatever, right? And so here I am going into this next level. And it's very well going to require me to travel more, which is going to be very unfortunate. I'm going to have to get better at the time I spend with my loved ones, and I need to start doing those behaviors now. Because if I want that promotion, I need to get ready for what's going to be, for the way things become. For a lot of us, we're trying to get our exes back. What does that mean in our lives? How does our day change? Are we making dinner for them? Is it being prepared? Maybe that's something we start to get in the habit of. You don't need to dish up an extra thing of food, mind you. That's a waste of food. But if you want to put out an extra place setting for them or whatever, that's awesome. But maybe that's where you start to get in the habit of they would get off work at 5. They would be home at 5:42. All right, boom. Dinner's ready at 5:45. That's what they smell when they're walking in. It's like a steaming plate being set on the table. Honey, you're home. I didn't know. Right? What about we want to buy a plane or something crazy like a boat? Now, I'm using these as extreme examples, but again, this is something that kind of hopefully lends a little credit to the thought concept, to what I mean by thinking ahead, thinking down the road. Owning a plane, by the way, you can price it out like a Cessna, a 152, 172, whatever. They're reasonably inexpensive. Reasonably inexpensive. The planes themselves, you can pick one up for a number of thousands of dollars, not out of the realm of possibility. But owning a plane is extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. Not to mention the whole concept of getting your pilot's license. Let's put that aside for a moment. Got where you park the plane. I forget what they call it. It's not a slip. That's what it is for boats. Something to consider for boats. But it's the maintenance. It's the maintenance. Every time you drive that thing, every time you sail that thing, every time you fly that thing, whatever, it's expensive. And that's awesome, and it's great to manifest levels of income, but if you're trying to manifest a plane, you've also got to consider, all right, where are we going to keep it? Where are we going to put it? Where's the maintenance going to be done? What are the places? This will probably work. They handle these people. This is a group of people. I've heard some good stuff. Like, you start planning out what's going to happen when you have it. You don't wait till you have it and then figure out how you're going to deal with it. You figure out how you're going to deal with it before you have it, so then when you have it, you're ready. Are we trying to manifest something we don't currently have and it's going to change our life when we get it? Let's start thinking about what that difference is. That's a huge, by the way, helpful in the imaginary. When you think of something, you're putting energy towards it. You're living in the end. You're imagining what it's going to be like. And then on top of that, you're preparing your conscious mind for what you're going to be dealing with. It's how you get there. It's how you do it. It's an evolution. You're raising your consciousness. That's basically what you're doing when you're imagining that next level. You're kicking yourself up a notch because you're forcing yourself out of your little bubble, out into the outer, not there yet, but coming, and you realize it's coming, and that's why you're planning it. You're like, this is going to happen. Oh, crap, I didn't even think about how busy I'm going to be all of a sudden. How am I going to have time? Okay, well, Fridays we'll do this. So for me, like maybe every once in a while, I'll do 2 videos in one day so I can have a day off, right? Or if I have to travel, maybe I try to record a couple videos in advance before I go. So you get in the habit of being able to do that. You do things that allow you the opportunity to do what you originally couldn't have done the way you were doing it before. It's that evolution. And it gets us to that next place. It's that next level of thinking. This does make a difference. This will get you there even quicker. It helps. I don't know. I'm just telling you, because you're going that next level. You're not doing the how. You're not covering any of the adjunct. But you're realizing, yeah, I have this coming, and when I do, this is what my life will be like. Now you are elevating your life up. It's really awesome when you do it. It's fantastic. Hopefully you guys kind of understand what I'm saying, or hopefully that makes sense to some degree. That would be the ideal situation. Going out with a great song. It's a mixture, I guess. It's Fifth Harmony featuring some guy that's tattooed very heavily. His name is Kid Ink. It's called Worth It. It's right here on Dan Radio Style.
You see me in the spotlight.